Oh, yeah. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, January 23rd, 2023. Early AM. Live and direct from the Bay Area in good old California, Northern California. I am your host, James Vaughn 007, and you are tuning into the James Vaughn 007 TV. First off, I want to give a big shout out to all my YouTube viewers. You supporters have been very good to me. Please, if you can, put a like at the end of my episode. This is Season 1, Episode 2. So please put a like and please subscribe. I would appreciate if you hit that subscribe button to support me. Support this new culture that I'm building in sports. It's a sports brand. I have my own talk show. So that's what we're doing tonight. You understand me? No, but I'm really excited. I just really want to thank all of you for just supporting me and continue to support me. And I'll make sure that I bring the best brand of sports into your TV of YouTube. Real quick, so I just want to hit on, the NFL Divisional round. Of course, we all know happened this weekend. And so with that being said, I am excited because the fact that, let me just put it this way. The teams that won were the teams that were deserved to win. Seriously. So let me just say this. You all know on my last episode, I went 5-1 last week in the wild card round. Now, the divisional round was Saturday and Sunday. So this last Saturday and Sunday, believe it or not, I went 3-1. Yes, I did. So, real quick, so we're going to talk NFL playoffs, of course, and then we're going to talk a little NBA. A little WNBA. So let's go for it. Also, some college basketball, NCAA men's. When you think about the NFL playoffs, we all watch it from wherever we're at. If we're at home, if we're at a sports bar, if we're at a bunch of friends' houses, or if we're at work, we are finding a way to tune into the NFL playoffs. You understand where I'm coming from? Serious business. So with that being said, I want to talk about Saturday. Saturday. Now when I look down, I'm just looking at my little laptop right here, okay? So when we look at the scores, now Kansas City hosted the Jacksonville Jaguars. And unfortunately, the Jacksonville Jaguars came up short. I know you Jacksonville fans are out there. Anyhow, the score was 27-20. But keep a note in the first half that Patrick Mahomes got hurt. He messed up his ankle. He came back in the second half, and he finished the game. But the MRI reported, I believe it was Sunday, that he had a high ankle sprain. But Patrick Mahomes said that he will definitely play in the AFC Championship game. So, basically Saturday, the Chiefs prevailed. You got to give Jacksonville credit. Trevor Lawrence had a great season. The coach, Doug Peterson, who of course won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, don't quote me, back in 2017, beating Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. So what I could say about Doug Peterson is the fact that he has experience as a head coach. And, of course, we all know he was a backup quarterback to Brett Favre back when they won their Super Bowl back in 1996. He was the backup quarterback. So player, coach, blah, 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 blah. That's it. So, but if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars season, they have a lot to build on for the positive. They just need to evaluate what they can do to improve the team, whether if it's through NFL free agency, if they make a trade or if they decide to also grab talent from the NFL draft, which will be held in April. So if you look at the season, you know, they won the AFC South. So they need to piggyback from this playoff loss. Look at it this way. Trevor Lawrence has 1 year experience, right? He has a year experience. Okay, so you got to look at it that way. And then the rest of the players. So what they need to do is to get more talent. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that they're ready for next season. Because, see, when you make the playoffs, now you've given the fans a sense of confidence, but also they're going to raise the bar of high expectations. So now they're going to expect for your team, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars, to improve in the regular season, win the division again, possibly, getting a better seed. See, that's how it works in football. But it's not guaranteed all the time that you're going to have the best record, or you'll become the last team, should I say, to get into the playoffs. But with that being said, Jacksonville had a great year. Now Kansas City has moved on. Now the later game Saturday, you had the Philadelphia Eagles. They hosted the New York Giants, and I know first off, I got to give a shout out to the one guy, Mr. Giant, out there in the Bay Area, of course, but lives in Sacramento. Hey, so what's going on, guy? I'm sorry to give you the bad news, but the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Giants 38-7. Now, when I say that, I know Mr. Giant watched the game, but hey, I got to put it up there, and I got to give him a special shout out. Anyhow, the Eagles were just too strong. Defensively, offensively, Jalen Hurts, they gave him time to do his thing, whether if he ran the ball or if he passed the ball. To me, it didn't matter. A.J. Brown didn't have a good game. But so what I look at with the Philadelphia Eagles, they have a physical defense. They do. They have maybe one of the best physical defenses out there in the NFL. And they've improved on offense a lot, So their running game was fantastic. Mr. Sanders wasn't even the leading rusher. So, but getting back to the New York Giants, they just didn't have enough. I believe, my opinion, their Super Bowl was when they beat the Minnesota Vikings last week. That was their Super Bowl. Coming into this environment in Philadelphia, the hostile crowd, and the fact that they had to grind out that win versus the Minnesota Vikings. I'm referring to the New York Giants. So with that being said, it was going to be a tough outing for quarterback Daniel Jones, running back Saquon Barkley, you understand me? And so with that being said, they need to improve offensively, but they got to pick it up defensively. Because when I look at this score 38-7, now I understand the offense has to play well. They did their best, and it wasn't good enough, but the defense has to play well too in order to compete, let alone win. So again, give the Philadelphia Eagles credit. They had the bye week. That's why they played their last game versus the New York Giants in Week 17 to get home field advantage. And I understand Mr. Giant, the fan of the New York Giants, said that they didn't have nothing to play for, so that was the reason why. If you followed the game, the New York Giants took out their first string starters in the second half. Well, you can call it what you want. Hey, they got blown out, okay? They got blown out. They got sent home. Well, they going somewhere. If they ain't going home, they going somewhere. And they sure ain't advancing to that next round, so we do know that. They're not going there. So, but with that being said, the New York Giants had a fantastic season, and the Philadelphia Eagles advanced on, okay? They advanced on to the NFC Championship, okay? So I'm just going to scroll down real quick. Now, yesterday's games were very interesting and somewhat surprising. Now, the first game, okay, was the AFC Divisional round. You had the Cincinnati Bengals, you understand me? They came into Buffalo with self-confidence. Now, this game in Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills, that's who they were playing, it was snowing. It was icy on that field, but it was snow, pure white snow, you understand me? Now, what I said is that I felt that if the Bills could get pressure on Joe Burrow, the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow will be in for a dogfight today. And then keep in mind, he had several offensive linemen that were hurt. Did that go against the Cincinnati Bengals? Would it benefit the Buffalo Bills because some of Joe Burrow's offensive line wasn't able to play? Guess what? It didn't even matter. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Buffalo Bills 27-10, and I saw part of that first half. And, hey, listen, I'm not making excuses. But as I said before, remember what I said. I said that the Buffalo Bills would run into a team that has a defense that's going to disrupt Josh Allen. They're going to run into a defense to win. They're going to have problems to score. Now, let's not forget they were going to run into a team also that could pretty much, if not score with them going back and forth, seesaw battle. But the fact that they're even better, they're better offense than Buffalo. Now, there's not a lot of teams that can actually prove that stat-wise in the AFC. But the bottom line is Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and running back Nixon, they put the 1-2-3 punch together, and they smoked the Bills. They did. But my thing was this. When I saw Buffalo come out there, you could see that they were ready to play, but I don't think their mind and body was ready to play. I think the injuries on defense for sure. Von Miller, as I said before, he was a piece that they needed that was going to get them over the top. The guy that can get to these star-studded quarterbacks, right? If you look at the first 11 games or whatever you want to say, they look to be that team to beat. But during Thanksgiving versus the Detroit Lions, when Von Miller got hurt, carted off. I know he said he was coming back. Excuse me. He never came back this season. And I believe that was maybe the deciding factor on why down the stretch, if you notice, their sack margin went down. Their pressure to the quarterback went down. I mean, everything just declined. And then, of course, the injuries and Dermond, hey, they had a lot of injuries. I'm just dwelling back because at one point they were the most dangerous team in the NFL. They really were. And to me, and I'm not making excuses for the Buffalo Bills, but I'm wondering, well, I'm not going to even wonder. No, this is what it is. I believe that they perhaps also, not making excuses for the Bills, but I also think that they overlooked this game, thinking that they were probably going to win this game, go on to Atlanta, and play the Kansas City Chiefs. It don't work that way if that is the case, but that's just my theory. That's one of my theories. But like I said, then, of course, Josh Allen struggled. If you look at what the Miami Dolphins did against the Buffalo Bills last week, you understand what I'm saying? They really put pressure on the Buffalo Bills, and they made the Buffalo Bills work for that game. Don't forget, they only won by less than a touchdown. So when you look at that game, I believe the Miami Dolphins softened up the Bills for the Cincinnati Bengals. So for all you Bengal fans out there, all you Cincinnati Bengal fans out there, I don't care where you're at, but you need to thank the Miami Dolphins because they were the ones that definitely softened them up and had them overlooking you guys, okay? And they just thought that they were probably just going to beat you guys. I'm not going to say steamroll, but for me, when you look in their eye, I mean, when I saw, like the quarterback Josh Allen's eyes, although, I mean, he looked like he was ready, but then, his body of work told the whole thing. So you got to give the Cincinnati Bengals a lot of credit for coming into Buffalo. Hostile crowd, not only that, but it was ice snow out there, and they were able to execute. I mean, it's phenomenal. So you got to give those guys credit. Excuse me, long night. So now the Cincinnati Bengals, they are going to travel to Kansas City, and they will play the Kansas City Chiefs. So that will be an interesting matchup. Also, rematch from last year's AFC Championship game, where the Cincinnati Bengals upset the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. Now, the main event, because I've been saying this all week long. Even, hey, listen, all you YouTubers, follow me on Twitter, because I was posting and tweeting and tweeting. Oh, my. But I was tweeting. So check me out on Twitter at JamesVon73. That's where I'm at. You could check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I haven't really been posting nothing on there, but definitely Twitter. Oh, I was doing the fool on Twitter. Serious business. So the San Francisco 49ers hosted the Dallas Cowboys. And this game here was very interesting because before I get into the deep ends of the game, this was by far the more entertaining game because it was a defensive-minded game in the first half compared to all of the games you would say throughout the playoffs, let alone the divisional round. You understand me? So with that being said, neither team could really muster up any points in the first half. Couple field goals came in play. Actually, hold on. The Dallas Cowboys did score the first touchdown. But the field goal kicker, again, missed, or actually, the extra point got blocked. That was the truth behind that. It got blocked, but still, his woos still continued. So they were up 6-0. And, of course, the Niners hit a couple field goals in the first half. Actually, there were like 3 field goals made by Robbie Gould. You understand me? And so I got 2 takeaways for the Cowboys in the first half. First off, Dak Prescott threw 2 costly interceptions that could have potentially been touchdown passes. Now, it's not a guarantee, but I'm just saying. Stats don't lie, they multiply. But also, Tony Pollard getting hurt, the running back for the Dallas Cowboys. So, they lost an integral part of their offense, a part of their running game with Ezekiel Elliott. He had to carry the load by himself in the second half. So that definitely messed up the scheme, you understand me, of the Dallas Cowboys. But you got to give that San Francisco 49er defense some credit. And what I mean by that is you have to look across that board. You have to look at Shakir. You got to look at Fred Warner. They made plays. The sack, from Shire, the interception from Lattimore and Fred Warner. Those were the 2 differences. And then, of course, in the second half, George Kittle making that spectacular catch. How was he able to catch the ball but control it and then bring it down? That was the difference of that whole game because they were able to score a touchdown. And I'm going to tell you something. Seriously. If they weren't able to score that touchdown, it's probably a different contest. But then the Cowboys had a chance, but they just couldn't capitalize. But give the Niners defense credit. So they won with a score of 19-12 to advance to the NFC Championship game. So, but all I have to say in terms of, I would say, the Dallas Cowboys, they just have to be healthy. They had a good season, but they got to be healthy. And for them, in order to win, they may need to have home field advantage. But this is the second time in 2 years that they have lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. We all know last year they lost in the wild card game in Dallas. But this year they had to travel to San Francisco, and the San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy and them all, they all did their fair share. So you could say, listen, Nick Bosa didn't get a sack, but he still applied pressure. He still applied pressure on Dak Prescott. He just couldn't get to him. So you got to give Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys credit with their offensive line. But we all knew coming in that they had a great offensive line. But I just didn't appreciate the way how people were just talking. Oh, Dallas is going to do this and Dallas is going to do that. Well, what did it show? 19-12. They only scored 12 points against us. We only gave up 12. We'll see what they put up 31 against with the Buccaneers. But as I told people all along, they played Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not the San Francisco 49ers by no means necessary. They don't have a good offense. That don't even compare to the San Francisco 49ers. So let's get that straight. Stop being disrespectful. All you predictors, I don't care if you're a Cowboy fan or not. It's irrelevant. Then y'all talked about the offense. Okay, yeah, the offense is good for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so we ain't going to question that. CeeDee Lamb had over, 100-something yards receiving today. So we're not going to discredit that. But you got to remember, they're going up against the number one defense, baby. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you understand me? They going to have some opportunities and they're going to have some positive moments. But at the end of the day, as OG told me Friday, you got to play to the best of your abilities. And I told him, and we agreed, you got to play great, not good. You got to play great. And the 49ers played great, so they deserve to win that game. You understand me? So I don't want to hear no more about the Cowboys. Hold on. Big shout out to the cousins up in Sacramento because they some big Dallas Cowboy fans. You understand me? And hey, I know they ain't saying nothing. I know I ain't got no text messages, and I ain't got no calls. When I say Texas, I might as well say Texas because I didn't get no text messages from Texas. No disrespect. I didn't get no calls from none of them either up there in Sacramento. They may need to get a flight to go to Dallas to go get some of that barbecue. You understand me? Matter of fact, bring me back some beef links, potato salad, mac and cheese, and one of them cornbread rolls if they know how to do that. And I don't need my barbecue sauce hot. I need it mild with the, with the NFL touch. Wow. Yeah, buddy. But no disrespect. Like I said, the Dallas Cowboys had a good season. I'm not going to knock that. And but they played their hearts out. You got to give them credit. But I just think that the three difference, maybe the four difference makers were the fact that Dak Prescott, throwing those interceptions, those two interceptions, they were costly, potentially touchdowns. Also, Tony Pollard getting hurt, seriously, and then George Kittle's making that spectacular catch. To me, those were the three takeaways for Dallas. But then you might as well say four because I can't give that takeaway to the Niners because that wasn't a takeaway. It was a give me away, and they took advantage of that George Kittle. So special shout out. Anyhow, I got a whole bunch of 49er fans. First off, got to give a shout out to G Money Greg. Hey, what's going on, man? Y'all know you happy that the 49ers won. You know what I'm saying? You keeping it locked up there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Near Patterson, partner. I know where you at. Got to give a shout out to 49ers Ray. I know he happy as heck. Sorry, I don't see you in the mornings anymore, but it's all good. I saw you last time, so we already know what time it is. Give a shout out, you know what I'm saying, to my father-in-law. He's a huge 49er fan. What's going on, father-in-law? Love you. And of course, my kid sister out there in Frisco, San Francisco, California. We call it Frisco. Hey, what's going on, sister? I know you happy they won. We got a whole bunch of Niner fans up in here too, so it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We got love and respect for each and every single football team out there. We're not here to disrespect anybody. I know I'm not going to disrespect nobody because I do have a sports show and I'm going to deliver. But don't clown. You put on a clown, you're going to get treated like a clown. So anyhow, with that being said, so now we have the AFC and NFC championship game set up the stage is set for next Sunday, which will be January 29th. The first game they're saying is going to be played at 12:30, where the San Francisco 49ers, go into Philadelphia to play the Philadelphia Eagles. And I believe right now the odds for the Eagles to win that game, the betting line is minus 2.5. So for all you bettors, you veteran bettors, but you new bettors who don't know what that means, is basically if you put money on the Philadelphia Eagles, if it's 2.5 by Sunday, basically the Philadelphia Eagles have to win by 3 points. You understand me? So if you feel like the Eagles are going to win, you go ahead and do that. Now, if you're going to bet on the 49ers, then basically, well, the Eagles are favored by 3. So basically, you might as well say, oh, if the Niners win by 2 or 1, or matter of fact, if the Eagles, win by 2 or 1, you're going to win the bet. But anything outside of that, you're all good. So it's up to you on which way you want to bet. You could take the Niners straight up, no points. You're going to win more money doing it that way. That's for sure if you go to one of those sports books. So you definitely can play, but play safe, of course. And so we have that. Now we go to the next game will be the AFC Championship game. So basically that will be a 6:30 game Eastern time. So pretty much it'll be a 3:30 game. So if we go back to the Niner game, if it's 12:30, it'll be 3:30 Eastern time. So basically Kansas City hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, that will be a 6:30 Eastern time, 3:30 Pacific time. So basically the Cincinnati Bengals will travel into Kansas City in a rematch of last year when the Cincinnati Bengals upset the Kansas City Chiefs to move on to the Super Bowl. But I will say this because I can multitask. I can multitask. But anyway, so basically, it's like this. I'm not going to really get into the specifics because I have all the way until next week, or should I say this Sunday? So I have all the way until this Sunday, and it's all good. So I'm going to take my time, but I will say this though. So just keep this in mind that, we have a rematch of the NFC title game. We have a rematch, and so it's going to be an interesting contest. So, but again, instead of the AFC title game, for all that, just had to make sure everything was legit on my side. But it's going to be interesting because for one, now we know where the dominoes fall for both championship games. Starting off in the AFC, what I want to say is that you got two mega superstar quarterbacks. You got Patrick Mahomes going up against Joe Burrow. And, we all know Patrick Mahomes plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. More than likely, he may win the regular season MVP. He deserves it, although I said Josh Allen will win it. But I don't know. Patrick may have it. But I would even throw in Jalen Hurts. I think he's also an MVP candidate as well. But getting back to the game, you got Joe Burrow. I mean, he should be a candidate too to be MVP. If you look at his numbers, they don't lie. They multiply too. So with that being said, and I'm not leaving out Brock Purdy, but he didn't play enough games to win the MVP. But I've already said he should win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, my opinion, because his stats don't lie, they multiply. But going back to the Cincinnati Bengals, Kansas City Chiefs game, it's going to be a perfect matchup. It may come down to who scored the most points. It may come down to which defense will deliver. So with that being said, we just have to see. As the week goes on, I will do my homework. And again, as I put on Twitter this weekend on my predictions, I did pretty well. I'll definitely throw my prediction in Sunday. I'm going to wait till Sunday. Excuse me. So I'm just going to wait till Sunday. Sunday morning after breakfast. Yes. Then the next game, to me, is basically, so it's like this, and I don't want to switch ships, but if you look at the AFC title game, to me, that's more about the offense and the quarterback. Seriously. when you look at the NFC Championship game, you have the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to travel into Philadelphia, where they will play the hosted Philadelphia Eagles. Now, excuse me. So my thing is this. So with the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, they both have great defenses. I don't know where Philadelphia ranks. I don't have it in front of me, but I do know that they're in the top 5 for sure. I know the 49ers are number 1. So it's going to come down to defense, which defense can execute, but also offensively. We look at Jalen Hurts, like I said, he could be he should be an MVP candidate. I don't think he'll win it, but he should be an MVP candidate. As I say, his numbers don't lie, they multiply. You look at Brock Purdy, he's not an MVP candidate, but again, offensive player of the year for sure. Best rookie offensive of the year. So best offensive rookie of the year should be Brock Purdy. But if you look down the list with these teams, they both have good defenses. They can play one-on-one coverage. If you look at the offenses, you look at Jalen Hurts, he's very dangerous. He can run, but so can Brock Purdy. But Jalen Hurts maybe all around might be better, but don't sleep on Brock Purdy. So with that being said, this matchup reminds me of Rocky IV, because all of the experts that I heard, yes, I heard a lot of experts today. Oh yeah, I listen to everything. Doesn't matter if it's whoever. But the bottom line is they all said, Philadelphia is a different animal and a different beast. They might be, and I'm not going to disrespect them and say that they're not. But the problem is you're putting the Philadelphia Eagles as if they're, like they play on Rocky IV, like they're Ivan Drago. So we're going to play devil's advocate. So let's say the Philadelphia Eagles are Ivan Drago. You must break me. Well, guess what? The 49ers are Rocky Balboa. You understand me? They got to fly to Philadelphia instead of Russia. And they are the underdog, so they got to play that underdog role. The only problem with that is this. Now, just keep this in mind, and I'm not bringing up the past to bring up the past because times are different. Teams have gotten better. But if you look at last year, and I just want to say this, might as well get it out now. I'm not going to wait till after the game because what if the Eagles win? See, what if the Niners win? So let's just be honest. The Niners beat the Philadelphia Eagles in regular season last season. We know that. I believe it was game 3. So it was week 3, I believe, of the NFL season last year. Don't quote me. And the Niners won the game. They had a good defense, the Eagles did. Also, keep in mind, we didn't have Brock Purdy. We had Jimmy G. And as I said before, I love the way Brock Purdy plays more over than Jimmy G because he's more of an accurate thrower, and Brock Purdy has shown he could throw down the field. He could throw deep passes 30, 40, 50, 60 yards. I mean, he's proven that. And Jimmy G is not able to do that on a consistent basis. So with that being said, you understand me, don't sleep on Brock Purdy. That's all I got to say. Eagle fans, don't sleep on Brock Purdy. He might be a rookie, but he could pull off what Tom Brady did, and that's what elevated his career into where he is now. Which is he may win. If the 49ers can beat the Philadelphia Eagles, watch out everyone in the Super Bowl, because he may just pull off that Tom Brady deal where he becomes maybe the second quarterback in NFL history, I believe, to win the Super Bowl. Don't quote me, but the stats don't lie, they multiply. But with that being said, the 49ers are Rocky Balboa and the Philadelphia Eagles are Ivan Drago. I cannot wait to watch that movie Sunday. I can't wait. Because I'm going to watch it. Excuse me, but I'm going to watch it. Not being biased, but I'm just saying, I'm going to watch it. Niner Nation, hey, what's going on? Going on, Niner Nation? Yeah, it was a whole bunch of them up there in Dublin, California. They was yelling out Niners. I didn't get a chance to get it, but trust and believe, I'm going to get it. Trust me, I'm going to get them. So watch out for my interviews coming up. I am going to do some interviews out in the streets. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to do that. But anyhow, we're going to get ready for the NFC and AFC championship game. Couple notes real quick. Patrick Mahomes has been to 5 straight AFC championship games. 2 Super Bowl appearances with 1 Super Bowl win. That's amazing. That's amazing stuff. If you look at the San Francisco 49ers, out of the last 4 years, they've been to 3 NFC championship games, 2019, 2021, and 2022. Although this is 2023, but it's a 2022 season. So with that being said, the 49ers have some history on their side too. And don't forget, I'm just saying, if they got to the Super Bowl, don't forget the fact that They've lost their last two. Mike Shanahan coached one of those. Will the third time be a charm? Let me just say this. I just believe, I really believe that the winner of this game may just win the Super Bowl. I am going to say that. I said that this was the Niners' year just because of them acquiring Christian McCaffrey. I believe this is what the Rams did when they got LaVon Miller and O.J. Beckham Jr. That's what this reminds me of. Nothing is going to come easy, though. That's what people got to realize. But I believe that, I'm telling you, if they win for sure versus Philadelphia, I believe they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm referring to the San Francisco 49ers. So I will let you know my predictions on Twitter, and I'll tell you who I want to see in the Super Bowl. Not because I'm rooting for a team or what have you. I'm just saying the teams I want to see. So we're going to go to a trivia. What three teams that were in the conference championships last year, NFC, AFC, made it to this season's AFC, NFC championship? Easy. The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Cincinnati Bengals. The only lone team that's out is the LA Rams. They will be former Super Bowl champions, but they are Super Bowl champions. Still ran into the season's over. They're the only team that did not make it to the NFC championship game or any championship game, by the way, because they didn't even make it to the playoffs. No disrespect, LA. I'm just saying. So that's a trivia for everyone to keep under their belt. Actually, and also keep in mind, this is Joe Burrow's, second AFC Championship appearance. This is Jalen Hurts from the NFC first NFC Championship appearance. And of course, we all know, as y'all say, Mr. Relevant, this is Brock Purdy's first NFC Championship appearance. So with that being said, Andy Reid has the most coaching experience behind Kyle Shanahan. So, but the list goes on and on. So I just wanted to just let all of you know that, the championship games are set. The dominoes are falling for sure. We have our Final Four set for next Sunday. Games will be on CBS and I believe Fox. So please be ready. Please be ready. Please be ready. Don't quote me on that. But so there'll be a bunch of interviews with all these players coming up. Not on my show, but I'm saying, of course, through whomever. So, but it's going to be interesting. NBA news. Hey, I got to talk about this. Do we got any Laker fans in the house? Do we have any Laker fans in the house? Look, the Lakers were at Portland tonight. Excuse me. And so the Lakers were down 25 points at halftime. They did something that they haven't did probably in the history. Well, no, actually, I take that back. The last time I remember they were down 25 and won a game, I want to say it was 1987 versus Seattle in the – wait a minute. Was it Seattle? I want to say it was Seattle in 1988, I want to say. Wait, was it? No, it was 87. No, actually, it was 1989. I believe it was the semifinals. They were down like 20-something points at halftime, and they came back and won the game. That's what I remember. Don't quote me. It's been a while. Magic Johnson. But anyway, the Lakers were down 25 points at halftime versus the Portland Trail Blazers. They came back and defeated the Portland Trail Blazers by 9 points, 121-112. Wow. The Golden State Warriors, they had a tough outing. They were up against the Nets big in the second half, and unfortunately, they lost. Kyrie Irving, shake and bake. Brooklyn Nets 120, Warriors 116. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They snapped the Denver Nuggets winning streak with the score 101-99. The Phoenix Suns, they've been on a roll lately, huh? They won 3 in a row after dropping 12 out of their last 14. They defeated the Memphis Grizzlies 112-110. Interesting, right? And so as we move on, The Toronto Raptors, they're looking okay. They defeated the Knicks 125-116. We look at the Miami Heat. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans, 100-96. And, of course, the Clippers, they beat the Dallas Mavericks 112-98. Now, Dallas and the Clippers, it makes it interesting because it seems to me like Dallas, I don't know, the Clippers own Dallas. See, the Denver Nuggets own the Clippers, but the Clippers own Dallas. And you might as well say the LA Clippers own the Lakers too. But Dallas, let's talk about Dallas. They just can't seem to match up against the LA Clippers. If you look at Luka Doncic and Kawhi and Paul George, that's already a mismatch. That's why I said earlier in the year. So here's my thing. The Dallas Mavericks are going to have to make a trade. Losing Jalen Brunson hurt it a lot. And I'm not taking anything away from Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm not taking anything away from Christian Woods, Tim Hardaway Jr., but they just needed another impactful player. And they have the pieces to do it. It just depends on what pieces are they willing to give up, and will they even throw in a first-round draft pick? Because we all know the trading deadline is less than a month away. And I'm interested to see how some of these teams jockey for a position to make a run in the postseason, let alone after the All-Star break. Now, I told all of you, don't sleep on the Lakers. I kept telling y'all this. This isn't last year's Laker team. Okay, we're not going to get into it because I've already gotten into that already. I told all you, watch out for this Laker team. Look, they get Anthony Davis back. I'm just saying watch out because they were already on a 6-game winning streak up until he got hurt, I believe. Don't quote me. It's been so long. See, the NBA season for me, I mean, it's to me, as long as you get in now, you have 10 playoff teams. Look, listen, the play-in game is a playoff game. Whether it's one game or 2 games, that's irrelevant. But the bottom line is this. You understand me? The top 10 teams make the playoffs, and that's that. And the Lakers are right there. They're only a game behind the Warriors, I believe, last time I saw. Matter of fact, they're a game behind, I think, OKC, or they're tied. I'm not too for sure. But I do know this. Hold on one second. Because, matter of fact, I'm about to get that to you right now. Yeah, I'm about to show y'all some love right now. Yeah, the Boston Celtics have the best record in the East. They're 35-12. The 76ers have crept up to the second spot. They're 30-16. But I want to go down to the hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Because I got to make sure I got this right. Yeah, so Denver is in first place, 33-14. The Memphis Grizzlies are 31-15. Yeah, so the Lakers are 1 game behind the OKC Thunder. So the Lakers are 22-25. The Thunder are 23-24, and the Warriors are 23-24, and they're in the 10th spot. So basically, and then even Utah is 24-25. So, and then, wow, this is really crazy. When I look at the standings, hold on. The Clippers are 25-24 at 6. 7. The Phoenix is 24-24. Minnesota is 24-24 at 8. Jazz is 24-25 at 9. The Warriors are 23-24 at 10. OKC is 23-24 at 11. And the Lakers are 23-25. And the and the Blazers are behind them. 21-25, and that's it, because the Spurs are 14, but they are 14-32. But you know who the surprise is after all this? You got to give this guy credit. The Sacramento Kings. Hey, man, they might finally break that drop. They ain't been to the playoffs in almost 20 years. You got to give Mike Brown credit. Mike Brown, I'm sorry. The former assistant coach to the Golden State Warriors that won, not a handful of rings, but he's won some championships. But whoever would have thunk it, because I kept saying maybe he shouldn't take that job, but, hey, he's proving us all wrong, huh? So, I mean, hey, so with that being said, hey, you got to give credit where credit is due. But, it is interesting. It is really interesting to see. Wow. Whoever would have thought that, like I said. But yeah. So it's crazy. When I look at all this stuff. Oh my gosh. What about this Friday in LA? So the Lakers beat the Memphis Grizzlies. And during the game, Shannon Sharp, the former NFL player, talk show host, he got into it with Dylan Brooks and John Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies, along with Steven Adams and a host of players from Minnesota. And then John Morant's father gets involved, but they edged it out. But it was just crazy how that trash talk turned into an altercation. It's crazy. And Shannon wasn't backing down. He said, come on. Yeah, because, see, what they don't know, see, this is the problem. And I'm just saying, this is a problem. Young and old. Young and older. To me, I mean, no disrespect to y'all. Y'all athletes. Look, people in general, but no, for athletes. The younger generation is so sensitive. It's like you can't say nothing to them. They always got to have the last word. Dylan Brooks, you don't need to prove nothing to Shannon Sharp. He's a retired NFL player. Yes, he's won championships. He can back up his credentials with his mouth. But listen, young man, look, you are not even at the peak of your career. Don't allow anyone to get you out of your game. I wouldn't even worry about Shannon Sharp because it ain't nothing to worry about. He was probably setting you up to get attention, and he got all the attention because it was funny. So I'm just letting you know, Dylan Brooks, just don't worry about that. John Morant, don't worry about that. Steven Adams, don't worry about that. Y'all just keep playing basketball. Y'all going to be fine. Y'all already in second place in the Western Conference. Y'all don't need all the shenanigans to get the best of y'all. So let's talk WNBA. So Breena Stewart, free agent, she played for the Seattle Storm. She won a championship for Seattle. She's won an MVP. She is going to visit 4 WNBA teams. Well, one is going to be the Seattle Storm that I know. The other one is going to be the New York Liberty, followed by the Minnesota Lynx. Hold on. So 1, 2, 3. Who was that fourth team? Was it the Atlanta Dream? Don't quote me. But all I know is that she's going to visit those teams. I was hoping that she would visit the LA Sparks, not by biased opinion, but I'm saying that I was hoping that maybe the LA Sparks can get a sit down with her too, because they need a lot of help there. They really do. But if they were to land her, they need to convince Breena Stewart, for one, they could win a championship and they could contend every year. That would really be nice if they can pull that off. But chances aren't good. Also, too, she wants a charter flight. Instead of a regular flight, she wants a charter flight. Can you blame her, though? Can you blame her? Several teams got fined. I believe, not for sure, was it the Atlanta Ace or the Atlanta Dream? Anyhow, one of them teams got fined $500,000 for, I guess, disobeying the flying protocol. Yeah, so NCAA college basketball, I don't have too much to say about it because, again, this is the regular season. But I'll say this. So the NCAA committee is considering a 90-team tournament. At first, I thought for a minute that it was bad, but when I think about it, it's good. It's good money for everyone. At least you could say your school has gotten into the tournament. But the only problem with that is, then what will be the use of taking the regular season games seriously? I mean, but am I making sense? So if you have a 90-team tournament, to me, the way I see it, what's the purpose of being in the middle pack if you're looking to get a top seed when, hey, all I can do is get in and people are going to talk. Look, there's always going to be talk about teams that shouldn't have got in. It's going to be like that with a 90-team tournament. I guarantee it. You're going to see a team, and I'm not disrespecting this school. I'm using this school as an example. Drake is going to not get in because they didn't have a quality win outside of their conference. Do you see where I'm coming from? So with that being said, to me, the regular season is already watered down in college basketball. Not for women, because I think women play more harder. I don't know. It seems like the women's NCAA college basketball style. I don't know. They tend to run more, but they just play harder. And it's no disrespect to the men. I am a man, but I'm not playing NCAA college basketball because I'm not a young man. But the bottom line is, I just think that the women play more better than the men do in college basketball. But again, to me, I mean, I just think the season is watered down. First off, they got too many of these non-regular season tournaments. I mean, to me, that's what killed the game, I felt, because you have all these tournaments when you know darn good and well all these teams may play again. And now I understood it decades back where you had the Rainbow Classic, you had the Maui Classic. Of course, you had your cable car tournament because I'm in the Bay Area. So, of course, the Cowboys hosted a cable car tournament where you have 4 teams. Then, of course, other teams had like small tournaments. Now, what I did like was, what I did like was the conference challenges. Like, remember how the ACC used to play against the Big East back in the 90s? Then let's just say 2000s. Then you had the Big 12 playing against the Big 10. You know what I mean? And then like what they should do is have the Pac-12 play against the West Coast Conference. To me, that'll make more sense. Excuse me, but at the end of the day, I just think that that the league is just watered down. I mean, it's not as interesting as it was, like it was before. And then also too, the game has changed. You got all these teams trying to shoot 3-point shots, trying to emulate the Warriors. I mean, I'm not blaming the Warriors. I mean, it's not their fault. I mean, of course, any team that is dominant, teams are going to emulate them, So, I mean, I understand that. Not mad at the Warriors, but, it's not the same brand of basketball. Even the tournaments, I mean, they're still good because the fact that you always have an upset. You always have a 12 beat a 4 or what have you, or you have a 15 beat a 1. Only one 16 seeded team has ever beaten a 1. And, you got to go back to, who is that? Baltimore County or something like that. They upset Virginia. I'm sorry, I don't have the right information, but I know the team came out of Baltimore, just put it that way. So, that was something to finally see. So, again, yeah. So, hey, college basketball for women, there's nothing to talk about. South Carolina is the best darn team in the nation. They're blowing out their conference foes by 40 and 50 and 39 points. Don Staley is doing one heck of a job out there, South Carolina. Stanford is okay. They had some tough losses. Connecticut is going to be okay with Coach Gene or Emma. Yeah, so to me, those are the 3 teams for me that always stand out. So until there's a different set of teams, like a top 3, like a top 4, top 4 basketball teams, just throw any team in there. Okay, let's say USF, University of San Francisco. Let's say, Connecticut Central. What about Detroit Mercy? And then let's say Texas Southern. Those can be the top 4 teams. When I start seeing that, then that's when I'll take the NCAA women's college basketball a lot more serious. But to me, I mean, it's in reference of the men's college basketball game. I mean, you have the same teams all the time. I mean, a couple teams have fell off. Yeah, like Baylor has fallen off. Notre Dame, they're okay, but they're not the same either. So you got some teams that have fell off, but still. But to me, South Carolina, Connecticut, and Stanford, those 3 are the cream of the crop. And then you have all these other teams like North Carolina. They play well one year and all that stuff. So, Arizona, USC, but it's still not the same. I mean, NC State is pretty good, but like I say, but at the end of the day, it's it's what it is. So that's it. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to sign out. Thank you. Please, as I said, hit that like. Put a prescription in there for me. A subscription, not a prescription. I don't need any drugs, but I'm saying a subscription on my YouTube channel, as you see. So go ahead and put that like, hit that subscription button, and let's build this brand. Again, I'm James Von 007. Season 1, Episode 2. I will see all of you next Sunday/Monday in the morning. If anything changes, I will definitely put it on Twitter. I know I said I was going to try and run a 2-week show. We will see, because if I do end up doing the show on Wednesday, I will put it on Twitter. So all you YouTube followers, please follow me also on Twitter at JamesVon73. Again, I'm your host, James Von 007. You're tuning into James Von 007 TV. Sayonara, I'm out. Everybody be safe and have a great Monday. Peace. Finish.